On a peninsula on the southern tip of Sweden, an ancient site sits ravaged by centuries of plunder. Eventually, two men stumble upon something incredible buried within the earth. It's a double grave dating back more than 3,000 years, and its vast size and unique contents draw visitors to this day. The province of Scania is the most southerly in all of Sweden, a peninsula and a scattering of islands jutting out into the Baltic Sea. Home to the city of Malmö, it's connected to Denmark via the contemporary span of the sprawling Øresund Bridge. But in this region, the landscape is also littered with landmarks from a far more ancient time. Across Scania, Bronze Age burial mounds mark the spots where ancient people mapped out their territory and laid their dead to rest. But in Kivik, a small village of less than 1,000 inhabitants located on the southeast of the province, a tomb has been discovered that's unlike anything else in the world. Located around 1,000 feet from the Baltic coast, this site hasn't always been considered one of great archaeological interest. In fact, up till 1748, it was used as a humble quarry, providing materials to locals wanting to build in the region. However, all that changed when a couple of farmers made a remarkable discovery. Apparently, the two men were plundering the area for stone when they stumbled upon an ancient tomb. And according to legend, they scoured the gravesite all night, hoping to uncover some grand buried treasure. But whether or not they found anything remains a matter of some debate. Even today, there are persistent rumors that the men uncovered something big while searching the newly discovered tomb. However, no great treasures have ever been recovered from the site. But what it now lacks in earthly riches, it is more than made up for in the incredible revelations that it's given up to archaeologists over the years. At just under 12.5 feet long by more than 3 feet wide, the tomb was constructed from 10 slabs of 8-inch thick stone, each standing at almost 4 feet tall. Arranged from north to south, the structure was initially sealed with 3 capstones. However, in 1750, these were removed, revealing something amazing within. Incredibly, the interior faces of 7 out of the 10 slabs were covered in detailed engravings. While some depicted humans bearing Bronze Age weapons and musical instruments, others featured animals and inventions such as the horse and cart. Moreover, some of the figures were shown engaged in some kind of religious or spiritual ritual. Over the years, many experts have studied the petroglyphs and theorized about what they could mean. For example, some have suggested that their decorative borders are supposed to represent the textiles of the time. Meanwhile, others have pointed to the rituals depicted, positing that the individual buried in the tomb was their intended focus. On one slab, a group of 4 musicians is depicted playing an ancient Scandinavian instrument known as a lure. Beneath them are 8 figures said to be female dancers, and according to some experts, they're similar to those found in other examples of art from the region, such as the Osberg tapestry, thought to date from around 834 AD. On the same stone, a group of 8 men is depicted. Apparently, these are thought to be 8 warriors or priests. And in another part of the image, an armed man can be seen leading 3 figures away. Could these be human sacrifices, chosen to take part in some sinister ritual that's since been lost to time? Next to this stone is another on which some of the same images appear again. Additionally, the slab depicts a figure standing in a chariot pulled along by 2 horses. This mirrors later examples of Scandinavian art that show both royalty and divinities traveling in such a manner, implying perhaps that the individuals carved into the Kivik tomb were intended to have a similar status. The remaining stones are covered in common Bronze Age symbols such as horned figures and sun wheels, a cross inside a circle thought to symbolize a wheel of the chariot belonging to the sun god. But among these familiar etchings are some thought to be unique in the whole of Scandinavia, making the tomb one of the region's most significant archaeological finds. Moreover, the gravesite is covered in a vast cairn measuring almost 250 feet across, the biggest mound like it in the whole of Sweden. But despite its unique features, it wasn't until 1931 that the Swedish archaeologist Gustav Hallström conducted a comprehensive excavation of the area and made a startling discovery. By that time, researchers had theorized that the tomb had been built for an older man, possibly a tribal chief. As a result, the site became known as Kungagraven, which means king's grave. But when Hallström began his excavations, he discovered a second cyst, or ancient coffin, beneath the mound. Located close to the king's grave, the second, smaller cyst was dubbed the Prinkskammaren, or Prince's Chamber. And that wasn't the only thing that Hallström discovered. Apparently, he also found evidence that the entire site had once also been a Stone Age settlement and was littered with relics such as flints. However, there was little left of the occupants who had once lain inside the two tombs. In fact, only small pieces of bone and bronze remained, and even though it was enough to date the graves to the Nordic Bronze Age, which began about 1700 BC, it told Hallström and his colleagues little about who'd been buried there. After Hallström's excavations, the site at Kivik was reconstructed. However, those responsible for the restoration had little to go on. Using etchings made around the time that the tomb was discovered, and along with their own guesswork, there was an attempt to rebuild the burial mound as it once was. Currently, the restored structure stands at some 11 feet tall, although some have suggested that it may have originally been as much as 3 times that height. Additionally, a tunnel has been built, allowing visitors to walk inside the tomb and view the engraved stone slabs in their original setting. Interestingly, the king's grave may yet have more secrets to reveal. In 2014, archaeologist Andreas Toreld and Tommy Anderson succeeded in using forensic technology to recover previously unseen images from the stone slabs. Will these new discoveries tell us more about who was buried at Kivik? Only time will tell.